Morales has shown he can save those guys.
And I like what he's doing when there's a man on first, a comebacker, or a ground ball to him. He's able to make that strong throw to second pretty much every time around the letters. Is what you want to feed the shortstop on that throw.
Jacoby Ellsbury steps in to start the game against Matt Palmer. And the first pitch of the ball game tonight. Strike one to the Boston leadoff hitter. Ellsbury hitting .296. That one's foul. He has driven in 10 runs, but he has scored 19 runs. Even though he was thrown out at the plate last night, he shows you when he's on base what a threat he is. Great speed.
Great speed. He can bunt for a hit. 16 stolen bases. Juan Rivera made an excellent throw. We showed that in the beginning part of the pregame show here, to how he got himself in great throwing position. Caught the ball on his throwing arm side and made a perfect throw to the plate.
Over the mound and into center field, a base hit for Jacoby Ellsbury to start the game. Let's look at that play last night from Juan. Not only Juan, but Mathis too. Just a perfect play.
Perfect play. Good job of Jeff Mathis blocking the plate. Ellsbury coming in strong too with that hard slide. Put the leg out, blocked him with the shin guard, and was able to apply the tag. And Jerry Weaver said that was a heck of a play, but Juan Rivera set it up with a great throw. Caught it on his throwing side.
And another great outing by Weaver last night. Unfortunately, no decision. Julio Lugo at the plate for the Red Sox.
Certainly a stolen base threat here, Ellsbury.
Every time he's on base, he's a threat.
And this is a spot where that's why you always, as a pitcher, you're thinking lines of, I got to get the speed guy to leading off the game out of the way as quick as possible, because then all of a sudden you change courses. All those, you got to throw over, slide step,
and hopefully not lose even an ounce of concentration on the hitter. Lugo hitting .303. Ellsbury jumps back in there. There he goes. The pitch is popped up. Ellsbury has to scramble back to first base as Kendrick makes the catch. One out in the first inning.
Ellsbury timed it pretty good against Matt Palmer. Had a pretty good jump. So, you know, if Lugo hit that ball in the air, popped it up, got an out. So Matt Palmer in that first inning, in his first three starts, it's a couple runs, 3 hits to 4 walks. The rest of the game, he's been lights out. An ERA at 2.45. So a lot of times pitchers don't correlate that bullpen action in out to the mound that first inning. It takes a little bit of time.
Big Papi at the plate. 0-1. I'm sure he's sick of hearing about it, but it's just amazing that he has not hit a home run yet this year. The Red Sox are playing their 34th game of the year. And a little shift put on by Mike Scioscia here in the first inning. Ellsbury running. He had a good jump. And he's out on a perfect throw by Napoli. Well, Ellsbury got a pretty good jump there, but Mike Napoli put it right on the money.
Matt Palmer was quick to the plate on that one too. Short arm, good throw, catch and throw by Mike Napoli. Guybar didn't have to go a whole lot of distance to be able to make that tag at second base. He was playing basically on the bag. Strong throw by Mike Napoli. It's good to see.
The second out in the inning, and now Big Papi pops one into shallow center field for a base hit, just out of the reach of Ibar.
back to Mike Napoli, too. Could be able to come back. He had that surgery during the offseason. It was a battle getting through spring training, building the arm strength. It's good to see that. And that confidence level gets up higher and higher for a catcher when he starts feeling that quick release and doesn't have to worry about feeling any discomfort in the shoulder.
Jeff Mathis not catching tonight, not playing at all tonight. The DH is Bobby Abreu this evening.
What a great combination Mike Scioscia has with those two catchers.
There's a shot by Jason Bay to deep left field and gone. 2-0 Red Sox in the first inning. Jason Bay's 10th home run of the season already.
Well, he's putting up some numbers, big numbers. Not only 10 home runs, also has 8 doubles and a triple. Matt Palmer didn't locate this pitch. And he get the fastball. He cut the fastball, started on the outside corner to get it off, but right away he knew it because it ran back middle part of the plate. That pitch did, and Jason Bay not going to miss that one.
That makes that play by Napoli throwing out Ellsbury even bigger. Otherwise, that's a 3-run shot, and there would still be only one out. But 2 on the board for the Red Sox in the first. And Mike Lowell at the plate.
10 home runs, 3rd in the American League. He's averaged 30 home runs a season last 4 years. Very good player. Solid defensively also in left field for the Red Sox.
Okay, so when a pitcher struggles in the first inning on a consistent basis, what's the answer there, Gooby?
Well, you go sometimes a shorter bullpen to get ready, sometimes a longer bullpen. You work on other pitches. And then all of a sudden, I think what it comes down to is the mental aspect of it.
Here's another shot to deep center field. Tory Hunter on the track makes the catch. But the Red Sox get a 2-run shot from Jason Bay and lead 2-0. Willits and Abreu here in the first inning. Then Tory Hunter, Kendry Morales, Mike Napoli. In the bottom third tonight is Rivera, Kendrick, and Ibar. Going against the knuckleballer tonight, Gooby.
Yeah, Tim Wakefield, very good. He's had a solid 4 games in a row, which he's won them all. 4 decisions in a row. That knuckleball. Will mix in a fastball when he's behind an account and a slider occasionally, but it's pretty much 95% knuckleball.
The Sox have won 4 of their last 5 games. And Figgins grounds out to first base. Boston's been a hot team. As you look at their defensive alignment, they started the season 2-6. They've gone 19-6 since then.
They still don't have Pedroia in the lineup and Kevin Youkilis. It's still a very dangerous lineup. Mike Lowell, third base. Lugo back and healthy, playing shortstop for him now.
not healthy tonight. Gary Matthews with a sore lower back out of the lineup, and Reggie Willits getting the start in right field. You wouldn't think that Reggie has faced many knuckleballers, would you?
No, but a situation too where a lot of times knuckleballers, and most of them seem to be, except for Wilbur Wood comes to mind, right-handed pitchers. Lefties have a tough time because of that baseball, the way it knuckles, runs away from the good part of the bat. And that's why you see the guys, if they're switch hitters, will bat right-handed against them a lot of times. But Sean Figgins elected to bat lefty against him. He's had a little bit of success against Wakefield.
And the same with Reggie. Who hits a fly ball into right field. Coming in, J.D. Drew to make the catch. 2 outs. Bobby Abreu DHing tonight.
You're going to see against a knuckleball, a lot of fly balls. And you got to generate all the power too. He's only allowed 1 home run so far this year, Tim Wakefield has, because it's coming in so slow at sometimes 58 to 65 mile an hour. You got to generate all the bat speed to hit it out.
And your fastball clocked in at a very similar number.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out, Rory.
Well, that's why you know so much about it.
The key is always pitching below the hitting speed.
That's right. Get those guys out in front.
That was my goal at the end of my career. Just staying below that 80 mile an hour speed limit.
Look at this baby just float up there.
Most times, whether it be a breaking ball or a fastball, you see the seams tumbling in. That one just stays pretty much straight. And the warmer the weather, the better the knuckleball, or more humidity in the air, the better the knuckleball will move.
Abreu fouls one away. Yeah, that's why knuckleballers usually don't have a good spring training. It's too cold. What about tonight? Just a mild night, not much wind.
It's still warm enough, it gives the knuckleball a chance to dance.
Abreu's done all right against this guy.
367. And you look at the home run totals throughout the lineup for the Halos. Only Tory Hunter's had more than 1 home run against him.
A high chopper behind the mound. Wakefield can't get to it. Green does, but throws it away. It bounces right back out to Bailey, and Abreu's aboard with an infield single.
Once it got by Wakefield, it was going to be a hit. And Howard's replay, ball dancing, knuckleball. Well, it's almost impossible to catch, let alone hit. Barely got the bottom part of the bat, topped it off the plate, got over his head. Once it got by Wakefield, it's going to be a hit, especially with Bobby Abreu's speed.
He's on base again. He's not hitting for any power yet, but it seems like every time you look up, Abreu's on base. Tory Hunter takes outside.
Well, for sure in this spot, Bobby Abreu's been very good so far with 13 stolen bases, and Wakefield's allowed 7 stolen bases without anybody being thrown out yet. So this is a stolen base opportunity. Big lead. Although Wakefield has a pretty quick move to first.
Shows it there. Tim Wakefield, 42 years old, and he'll be 43 before the season's over in August. Fly ball center field, back on the ball. Ellsbury has room, and that retires Tory Hunter. After 1 inning, it's 2-0 Red Sox. Sirloin burgers. They're 3 delicious burgers on toasted mini buns. We're in the second inning, 2-0 Red Sox. Matt Palmer facing J.D. Drew to lead off the second. Drew hit a home run in last night's game for Boston, giving him 5 on the year. Good pitch by Palmer. And that gets him.
Wasn't real particularly good at bat for J.D. Drew. He was looking for a straight fastball, but you saw 2 sinkers on the outside corner, and Matt Palmer came back with a cutter in the inside part of the plate. Nice job by Mike Napoli, too, framing that pitch. I was replaying the cut action on the fastball, almost like a slider, but not that much of a break, just enough on that plane of a fastball to be able to get the hitter out.
Jeff Bailey at the plate. Even though the Red Sox won last night's game, the Angels have beaten Boston 7 of the last 10 here at Angel Stadium. Predictably, Boston is a whole lot better at home than they are on the road. 13-4 at Fenway, and a .500 team on the road, 8-8. They start the night 1 game behind the Blue Jays in the East, and the Blue Jays lost tonight at home to the Yankees. So if Boston wins, they'd be tied for first. Strike into Bailey. Off the end of the bat, full count, 3-2. Pedroia not able to play tonight. Bailey, a 1-out walk.
The MVP last year. This guy put the ball in play consistently. Kevin Youkilis on a DL right now for the Red Sox. Here's a guy that provides so much power and protection for David Ortiz in that 4th spot in the lineup.
George Kotaris at the plate for the Red Sox. Takes outside, 1-0. Two balls, no strikes. Palmer just walked Bailey. Now he's behind on Kotaris. Two and one. Bailey back in there easily. Three and one now with the second baseman Nick Green on deck.
Palmer having a tough time controlling that fastball. He's been able to cut it on the outside corner on occasion tonight, but not consistently. And that sinking fastball running off the outside part to play it again. Looking to get that ground ball to get the double play.
Well, he knows, obviously, Santana's coming back, Lackey's coming back. Well, what's going to happen to me? It has to be going through his head. This is a pretty big outing for Matt.
Oh, it is. And, you know, John Lackey's going to be pitching like Saturday in Texas. So Saunders going to pitch Friday, Urban Santana tomorrow. The reality is all you can do is perform, do your job. And he certainly has been an outstanding story at 3-0 so far this season. Particularly his last two games. First game out there, the Butterflies, battles his way through, got the win against the Tigers, but a great effort in New York. And a solid effort his last time out too, against Kansas City.
3-2. Bailey is running, but it's ball 4. Back-to-back walks given up by Palmer. Now Mike Scioscia, a little concerned about that. This team hits way too well to let that happen. Fans, this series continues tomorrow afternoon. It's a day game, and there are still great seats available. Plus, the Angels have a ticket special going on. Buy 3 tickets and get 1 free in select seating areas when using the password ANGELS at the Angel Stadium ticket window. Or you can get them now at angelsbaseball.com. Urban Santana will be on the mound tomorrow afternoon, making his first start of the season.
And John Lackey on Saturday. It's good to have those guys back. Especially, you know, John Lackey is such a big part of this rotation, not only for the wins and the innings, but the leadership. And it's tough to be a leader when you're on the DL, and you can just see it in his face. Now that he's back, he's smiling more. He knows that the guys can come to him and talk, but he can be more vocal now that you're going to be an active member of the team as compared to a guy on the DL.
Nick Green at the plate. Pops it up foul, out of play. Two on with 1 out for the Red Sox in the top of the second. Palmer looking for a double play ball. Well, he tied him up right there.
That's one of those we talk about how some hitters think they see and react real well on the fastball. It's not overpowering 88, but that movement, it's a bad hack by Nick Green because that fastball ran in underneath his hands.
Palmer ahead, 0-2. There's a shot into left field, and that's in there for a base hit. That's going to score Jeff Bailey from second base, and it's a double for Green. The Red Sox lead 3-0. Palmer was ahead 0-2, but Green hit that ball hard.
Too good of a pitch. Matt understands that. He realized what he did. He tried to throw a fastball again, cut it, but he wanted to cut it, throw it towards his hip and bring in the inside part, but just started in the inside corner, ran over the middle part of the plate, and that's the result. That's the danger of a cut fastball. You have to hit your spot. If you make a mistake, it's a very hittable pitch.
And this becomes a dangerous inning for Palmer and the Angels, already down by 3. Second and third, 1 out, and Ellsbury at the plate, taking on the outside corner for a strike. And right now, the way the Angels are situated, Gooby, a ground ball to the right side, say at Kendrick, would score another run. Instead, it's a chopper to shortstop. That will get a run in as Ibar throws him out. But it's 4-0 Red Sox.
Good pick by Kenny Morales at first base, too, especially with Ellsbury's speed. The infielders, Eric Ibar, knew he had to hurry on that play. Kenny Morales picked him up with a good scoop. Chopper up the middle. With the speed, had a tough time getting out of his glove initially, but a good pick by Kenny Morales. Get the speedy Ellsbury at first base.
He's getting better and better, isn't he?
More comfortable. Early in the year, you kind of stab at that ball in there. Now, this nice reaction makes the play.
2 outs with a runner at third base for the Red Sox and Julio Lugo at the plate. Nick Green aboard at third base. That was a run-saving stop by Napoli.
job of squaring up the body by Mike Napoli. Pitch on the outside part, way off the corner, squared his body up, kept his other arm, his throwing arm out too, to be able to absorb the ball off his arm there too, but his job of keeping it in front.
One and one to Lugo. On the outside corner, strike two. Palmer trying to get out of this second inning without that runner from third scoring. He doesn't want to lose Lugo with Big Papi on deck. Two balls, two strikes. Slowly hit, tough play. Ibar bare hands and throws him out. Nice play by Eric Ibar. That saved a run. But the Red Sox get two more and lead 4-0. The Angels down early tonight, 4-0. Just the bottom of the second inning at Angel Stadium. And Tim Wakefield pitching to Kendry Morales to lead off the bottom of the second. Kendry hitting .273. On the ground towards second. Oh, takes a bad hop on Green, and Morales is aboard. And that'll bring up Mike Napoli. Time now for the Home Depot. Doing more on defense. Napoli with a perfect throw a moment ago to get Ellsbury trying to steal second.
Not an easy task. Catch and throw was perfect, as quick as you can be. Mike Napoli, perfect throw. Good tag by Eric Ibar. Excited about that play.
Doing more on defense with Home Depot. They've ruled that last one a single for Morales, a bad hop single. Took a tough hop on Green. And the first pitch to Napoli, in there for a called strike.
He is, when you're down 4-0 early in the game, just keep chipping away. Hoping at some point Matt Palmer throws up some zeros, but the offense is going to have to pick him up tonight.
Well, there's a shot into left field, and the first two Angels are aboard in the second inning. Morales and Napoli with base hits. And Juan Rivera coming up.
Mo. You can see the knuckleball tumbling, but this time it stayed up on a flatter plane. And that's why Napoli was able to hit that ball hard through the hole by shortstop. I think base runners, you need base runners against Wakefield because one, you got the possibility of a pass ball or a wild pitch. He's hit 7 batters already this year and walked 18 in 40 innings.
The batter is Rivera. We mentioned Wakefield is going to be 43 before this season's over. Think about some other knuckleballers. Tom Candiotti extended his career several years by going to the knuckleball. Why don't more pitchers do it?
It's not an easy pitch. One, first of all, it's impossible to find somebody to play catch with. Charlie Huff was another great one.
Yeah.
And there was a few guys over Kansas City over the years who were experimenting with knuckleballs. Trying to catch that alone, it's hard to do. So it's also tough to throw strikes with it. We just mentioned 18 base on balls already in 40 innings for Wakefield.
High fly ball by Rivera into left center field. Caught by Ellsbury, and the runners will stay where they are. Wakefield is right behind Cy Young and Roger Clemens. That's a good enough argument for the knuckleball for me right there.
Exactly. And the thing is, not only you can pitch 7, 8, 9 innings, you can go back out and pitch out of the bullpen 2 days later because it doesn't tax you throwing that knuckleball. More of a natural throwing motion. It's almost like you're playing darts. Just pushing out with the knuckles. It's a difficult pitch to be able to throw for a strike or at least get it close to the zone for the umpire to call a strike.
It's a fingertip pitch, though, isn't it?
Yep.
Howie Kendrick up there for the Angels. Do you think any of it, Gooby, is just being macho? I mean, you're never going to blaze one by anybody ever again.
Yeah, the old adage is knuckleball. We always joke around saying knuckleball is not a pitcher. He said knuckleball, he's not a pitcher. So yeah, it could be into effect. I mean, 72 is the hardest he's thrown a ball today. It's 64. He has a knuckleball at times will be in the 50s. That's his fastball.
Got that one up there at 71.
You know what? He's been very successful. Fields his position well too.
3-1 to Kendrick. So Howie's aboard, and that loads the bases for the Angels. The Angels have Morales at third, Napoli at second, Kendrick at first, and only one out. A chance to get right back in it now.
And Ibar's going to bat right-handed against Wakefield. Switch hitter going to bat right-handed. The thing is, with a knuckleball, a lot of pop-ups, a lot of lazy fly balls. But when you bat right-handed against a knuckleball, the chances are the ball's going to run away and get to the big part of the bat. Better chance to hit it hard.
1-0 to Eric Ibar. One and one. Wakefield facing the number 9 hitter in the Angels batting order with the leadoff man Figgins on deck. Fouls that off at the plate. 1-2. Oh, struck him out with the knuckleball. And a big strikeout for Wakefield.
Last night early in the game, twice the Angels had bases loaded.
Yep.
Only scored 1 run out of it. So you got to take advantage when you have these opportunities. Knuckleball, this was a perfect one. Really, the Expo shows how there's absolute no movement in the seams at all. Just straight and dancing up there, and that ball dropped at the bottom. I'm unable to make contact.
Figgins takes a strike. You must think as a hitter when it comes out of the pitcher's hand, oh, I'm going to kill this. As it's coming up there slow and you can see it well.
Big it back too for Figgins. He's had some success at 316, but you're right, the ball dances up there. Try to get it in the right spot.
In the air to right field, but Drew is right there, and the Angels leave them loaded in the second inning. Still 4-0 Boston. In attendance will receive a free Rally Monkey board game set courtesy of Stemrick's Heritage Foods. Now, there's the monkey.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Well, the set includes checkers and tic-tac-toe. So, visit angelsbaseball.com and get your tickets today.
I cannot wait.
Everybody knows that little monkeys love to play checkers. So that's not unusual at all, that part of it.
I still feel I have a good chance.
You think you can beat him?
Yes. I'm going to practice.
I think he could outsmart you.
What are you trying to say?
Well, no, I think it's just an opinion.
What if I practice enough, Roy? Do I have a chance? Me and Allen Iverson with practice.
Practice. 2-0 to Ortiz. Well, I know it's always made you popular around the house. Come bursting in and say, "Hi, kids, how about a game of checkers?"
Yeah, they all know they want to bring me in, too. It's an easy W for them.
Fly ball into shallow left field takes care of Big Papi as Rivera makes the catch. Now, time for the Firestone leaderboard as Jason Bay comes to the plate. His home run put him second on the leaderboard in RBIs in the American League.
What a job he has done for the Red Sox. Assistant there. Lind having a great year for Toronto, too, with 31. Jason Bay.
Bay hit that home run deep to left field in the first inning, a 2-run shot. One and one to Jason Bay. He's 2 for 2 now. Mike Lowell coming up with Bay at first base. Lowell flied out to Tory Hunter his first time up. Lowell has had at least 25 doubles every year for the last 9 years, plus those home runs. Ground ball to first base. Kendry Morales fires to second. They get the out there, and they get the double play. Nicely turned by the Angels. Still 4-0 Red Sox. Great crowd for the Angels and Red Sox. Beautiful night for baseball, but the Angels trailing it. Refreshing little snack here in the third inning.
I think you might have had enough.
Yeah. Maybe a little liquid refreshment would be good right now.
Get a little nap.
Reggie Willits hits that one up the middle. Diving stop by Green, but he can't get in. Reggie's too fast down that line. Base hit for Willits.
Reggie seen that base hit right in the horizon, ran as hard as he could down the line. But Nick Green, nice job of fully extended into the outfield grass. Makes a strong throw over the first baseman. Reggie Willits is too quick,
especially out of that left-handed box. But there are a lot of players that would have been an out. Reggie beats it out. Now Bobby Abreu at the plate.
And even though the Angels are behind 4-0, stolen base is certainly a big part of the Angels arsenal, and you will try to steal a base on Tim Wakefield.
There he goes. Ooh, and just did get in safely. So Reggie with great speed. That was a very close play at second base.
Well, he didn't get a particularly real good jump. Wakefield was quick, barely got the hand, but he did get the hand underneath the tag by Lugo. Wow. Boy, that was a close play. That's a great view we had in the Exmo. Just might have caught a break there.
And no wonder Lugo had a question or two for second base umpire Darryl Cousins. Of course, Darryl's never been a guy that the Angels would vote onto their all umpire team, but they did get one there maybe. 3-1 to Abreu. Full count. Still 3-2.
I remember talking when I was a teammate of Bo Jackson and Danny Tartable, both strong right-handed batters. When they faced the Charlie Huff, they would say they tried to get the knuckleball out and up over the plate. That gave them a better chance of squaring up the baseball, hitting on the good part of the bat. Same thing Bobby was trying to do, though. Granny hit a foul, but he still got the good part of the bat on the ball. A lot of times with that knuckleball, when it's going down in the zone, you barely tip the bat at all, and that's when you see little pop-ups and little dribblers in the infield.
Here comes the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Abreu. And another walk for Bobby Abreu. It's just been amazing how often he's worked the pitcher for a walk. Fox Sports West is now on Facebook, Angel fans. Join us for team updates, breaking news, and video.
How you been doing so far on your Facebook adventures?
Well, it's just hours and hours every day.
You are a man of the people.
Tory Hunter up there at the plate.
Three home runs in his career against Wakefield.
Tory flied out to center field his first time up. The ball he hit fairly well, but obviously the knuckler doesn't carry all that well when you hit it either. Strike 2 to Tory. The Angels, it came back to bite them last night when they let early inning scoring opportunities go by. They left the bases loaded last inning. Now Tory comes up with an 0-2 base hit and drives in Reggie Willits. The Angels are on the board. It's 4-1 Boston.
Very aggressive too. Dino Ebel sending Reggie Willits. Jason Bay very good in the outfield, but not the strongest of arms. Taking advantage. Getting that run across. Tory Hunter, nice job. You're thinking with the knuckleballer, 0-2, it's tough to waste a pitch because you never know where the knuckleball is going anyhow. So that was a knuckleball that stayed over the middle part of the plate, and Tory Hunter took advantage of it. And then base hit. Reggie Willits picks up Dino Ebel right away. He's sending him home. Big to get that run across. Especially even though there's no outs, Dino Ebel will not go by the book. A lot of times you'll just hold them there, especially when you're down 4-0, but you got to go with knowing the outfielders you're playing against.
Kendry Morales takes a strike. Jason Bay in left field had really no chance to throw out Willits right there. And another base hit into the outfield. The throw from J.D. Drew will not get there in time, and the Angels have scored twice. Still nobody out.
And a great job by Tory Hunter getting into third base. Not only Bobby Abreu scored, he will be very aggressive. J.D. Drew, the strongest of the outfield arms for the Red Sox. Another knuckleball. Break a whole lot, stayed out. That's what you're supposed to do. Get that knuckleball out in front. Your best chance of squaring it up, and Kendry Morales was able to do so.
I guess that's another thing about a knuckleballer, Gooby. You talk about other pitchers, fastball pitchers, whatever you want to name, and they have an out pitch. But with a knuckleballer, one pitch is pretty much the same as the other, isn't it?
And you can even ask Wakefield about it. I mean, sometimes he has no idea what the break is going to go on in that knuckleball. In particular, game or pitch to pitch.
Mike Napoli swings and misses at the knuckler. First and third, still nobody out. In the air to center field and well hit. Ellsbury to the 400-foot side, and Mike Napoli has hit it out. The Angels take the lead in the third inning, 5-4.
And we talked about how important it is if you're going to drive the ball and hit it far, you got to get that ball out and up in front of the plate. The best play in baseball, the 3-run home run, as Earl Weaver would say. Knuckleball out and over the plate. Wakefield right away said, yep, it's gone. The only thing I can hope for is if somehow the wind blows it back, but there's not enough wind out there to knock this shot out. What a blast by Mike Napoli.
5 batters have come to the plate in the inning. 5 runs have scored. And the Angels have gone from down 4-0 to ahead by a run. And now it's 2-0 to Juan Rivera.
Wakefield had been on a roll and won his last 4 decisions, but he's struggled in his career against the Angels. 9-13, 5-8 at the Big A. Terry Francona well aware of that.
Two and one to Juan Rivera. Nick Green throws Juan out. Mike Napoli, 3-run shot has given the Angels the lead.
Great numbers already this season for Napoli with 6 home runs, now 17 RBI. And also 329 batting average. And threw out a base runner tonight. Good start.
1-0 to Howie Kendrick. Three balls, no strikes.
Here's a time you wonder if he has the green light. You know it's going to be a fastball. It's going to be about 71, 72.
He lets it go by at 73 miles an hour, so he threw it a lot harder than you anticipated.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think it froze him.
3-1 to Kendrick. And there's the walk. Wakefield having quite a struggle. John Farrell on the telephone to the bullpen. 7 batters have come to the plate. 6 of them have reached base in this inning. And pulling off the jacket, that is Hunter Jones, a left-hander.
Howie Kendrick also with 5 stolen bases on the year. Taking that similar approach to Sean Figgins as far as the lead and the way he points that foot towards second base.
Eric Ibar up there at the plate. Swings and hits a fly ball foul on the third base side.
You can see the approach by the Angel hitters this inning. Get that knuckleball out in front of the plate, preferably up above the belt. Better chance of being successful.
Wakefield about to make his 30th pitch of this inning. And he gets Ibar to pop it up. Shallow left field. Jason Bay comes in. 2 outs. All right, the Marines.com leaders of the game. Tim Wakefield has put together quite a career. 182 wins. Of course, he wasn't a knuckleballer when he came up as a rookie. Phil Niekro was.
How about Phil Niekro when he won his 300th game? He threw nothing but fastballs that day when he was with the Yankees. That was amazing. He was determined he was going to throw fastballs. He was a guy that threw a knuckleball after knuckleball. He threw nothing but fastballs. I think it was up in Toronto, as a matter of fact. He was a member of the Yankees.
I guess he wanted to get number 300 in a different way.
The old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way.
Still don't believe it was below the hitting speed, that fastball, which was good.
Figgins, the 9th man to hit in this inning. This is the 3rd inning, and it's already Sean's 3rd time up at the plate.
After a pitch out, generally you're not going to come back with another pitch out, especially with a knuckleballer who will walk some guys. So certainly a good opportunity for Howie Kendrick if he get a good jump to try to steal the base.
Howie not going, and Figgins takes outside, 2-0. Figgy looking down at Dino. He wants to know if Kendrick is running. And it's 3-0 to Sean Figgins. Three balls and a strike. The Angels have scored 5 times in the 3rd. And now Figgins is aboard. Two on with 2 out. Wakefield has walked 3 in this inning.
He's also hit about it. We talked about that. 7 hit by pitches already this year and 18 walks coming into the game. You know, he only allowed 1 home run coming in this game, but Mike Napoli with that 3-run shot. Reggie Willett started this all off by getting beaten out an infield hit.
The 35th pitch of the inning from Wakefield. Ball 1. Two on, 2 out. And Willits pops one into shallow left field, going out to shortstop Lugo to make the catch. But it's a big inning for the Angels. They score 5 times. Napoli hits a 3-run shot, and the Angels lead it 5-4. Win Game 3 of the ALDS against Boston last year.
I know that one. Jerry Weaver got the win that day, too, as I recall.
Out of the bullpen.
Out of the bullpen.
J.D. Drew leads off the 4th inning for the Red Sox, who have blown a 4-0 lead. Drew lines one to left field. And Rivera is able to run it down.
Big inning here for Matt Palmer. The offense responded, picked them up after being behind 4-0 after 2. Picked them up with a 5 spot in the 3rd inning. Now he's got to throw up a 0. Let the offense get back on board, see if it can continue the onslaught against Tim Wakefield.
Jeff Bailey coming up for Boston. He walked and scored in the 2nd inning. One ball, one strike. Two and two to Bailey. The Angels fighting back from an early 4-0 deficit tonight. And it's still early. It's just the 4th inning. To third base, a 2-hopper to Figge. Close play at first, but they get the out. 2 down. And they'll bring up George Kotaras. Kotaras doesn't start much behind the plate, but when he does, it's usually because Wakefield's on the mound. He chops one to second base, and the Red Sox go down in order in the top of the 4th inning. The Angels lead it by a run. Angel hit a 12th inning RBI single to win Game 3 of the ALDS against the Red Sox last year.
Eric Ibar, that base hit up the middle. Like Napoli had 2 homers in that game. Game 4 was a solid game too. But unfortunately, it didn't go the right way for the Halos.
Those were all close games. Bobby Abreu leading off the bottom of the fourth against Wakefield. He's up over 70 pitches already. Abreu pops up. High pop fly on the infield. Julio Lugo makes the catch.
I don't think a pitch count is really an issue with a knuckleballer. It's more of a situation, is the knuckleball still dancing? If it isn't, that's when you take him out of the game.
One out, Tory Hunter coming up.
I mean, if you look at some of the games, right, 112 pitches, he's throwing 111. It's a pitch. It doesn't require maximum effort to be able to throw. And anytime you lift your arm up, it's an unnatural motion as far as throwing fastballs and sliders, splits, and curves. The knuckleball, the more you push it, less stress on the arm, except when you give up a ball like that.
Right down the line. And fair. It's a home run for Tory Hunter. Well, the Angels have come roaring back against Wakefield and the Red Sox.
Again, getting it out in front. The way to be successful against that knuckleballer. And right-handers in general against a right-handed knuckleballer are more successful. That smile by Tory got us like that because, well, I got a 3-run shot. But I'll take a solo, want anybody on. Watch that down the line.
Third base umpire Jim Joyce right on that line. Called it emphatically.
Right out in front. Great swing. Trying to sneak a fastball by him there.
He did, didn't he?
Right by the fair pole.
Morales unable to make contact. That's the second out in the inning.
Ninth homer on the season for Tory, and his fourth in his career. It's Tim Wakefield. Don't try to sneak a fastball by me. But got it out in front. Crushed it.
2 outs. Napoli up there. He homered to center field last time up. That knuckleball clocked in at 59 miles an hour. There's a liner into right field. Drew is right there. But the solo shot by Tory Hunter gives the Angels another run, and they lead the Red Sox 6-4 after 4. Right down the line. scoring so far. 6-4 Angels as we go to the 5th inning. Tory Hunter just hit one out. Mike Napoli has a 3-run shot tonight. Nick Green at the plate. He has an RBI double tonight. To shallow center field, and Hunter comes in to make the catch. Now Palmer now is set down 5 in a row. You go from down 4-0 to ahead. That's got to give you a little shot in the arm, huh?
That's what you're supposed to do as a pitcher. When you struggle and your offense picks you up, like Mike Socha's offense has for Matt Palmer, you got to throw up some zeros. That's your job. And all of a sudden, as a pitcher, when you get that kind of offensive support, you get that extra boost, the energy level goes up.
Ellsbury takes strike 1. Former Pac-10 Player of the Year for Oregon State, Jacoby Ellsbury. One ball, one strike. Two and one. Two balls, two strikes. Palmer strikes him out. Ellsbury may have felt that was a foul ball.
Well, also, the point is that ball hit the dirt. You have to throw to the first base, too. He's trying to say deflected it into the glove. Frank may ask for help down at third base, too.
Brian Runge's the home plate umpire. Jim Joyce is at third base. And they did ask Joyce, who said strike 3. I don't think he made contact.
No, I think it was more of a situation he flat out missed it.
Yeah. Two outs. Julio Lugo pops one into shallow right field. And Reggie Willits runs it down. Matt Palmer has another 1-2-3 inning. behind 4-0. Now he has a 2-run cushion, and he has set down 7 in a row.
Outstanding. Throwing those zeros. We talk about when you get that lead, put up those zeros, and he's doing it quickly, too.
Juan Rivera hits a liner into left field, but Bay is right there. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Now Wakefield, who gave up that 4-run lead, is just trying to hang in there long enough for his mates to come back.
Big thing for the Angels offense. You got to keep piling on. This Red Sox team never goes away. We saw that last night, their ability to come back. So you want to keep scoring those runs.
Howie Kendrick up there at the plate. Howie has been hit by a pitch and walked tonight. Two and 0. On the ground, wide of third. Lowell from his back can't throw him out. Good try by Mike Lowell. Base hit for Howie Kendrick. The Red Sox and Angels conclude this series tomorrow, and great seats are still available for the day game tomorrow. There's an exciting ticket special going on. You can buy 3 tickets and get 1 free in select seating areas when using the password ANGELS at the Angel Stadium ticket window, or go to angelsbaseball.com.
Should be exciting. A day game with the Red Sox in town.
Kendrick running. The bunt popped back to Wakefield, who cannot make a throw. They'll rule it a hit for Ibar. I think Wakefield's first thought was to catch it on the fly and maybe get a double play. He ends up with nothing.
Always a difficult thing to be able to bunt a knuckleball, but that was a run and bunt. Howie was on the move and the bunt. You see that too often. You see hit and run, but a run and bunt worked out perfectly for the Angels. And with some speed on the bases right now, good chance at possible double steal.
Kendrick at second, Ibar at first. And speed in the batter's box also in Figgins, who lines one to right. Drew comes on and puts it away. Throw to second behind Kendrick, but Howie gets back in there. Two outs.
And the interesting thing about that, with the speed of Howie Kendrick at second, Mike Lowell has to play up with the threat of a bunt. So he's not really in a good position to be able to make that catch if it's thrown down to third base.
Reggie Willits, 1 for 3. Wakefield bluffing Kendrick back. Both Willits and Figgins have been to the plate 4 times already. We're only in the 5th inning. Reggie takes ball 1. One and one. The day game tomorrow makes the travel day a little easier for both teams. The Angels are going to Texas, and Boston's going up to Seattle. One and two to Reggie Willits.
Between Reggie Willits and Bobby Abreu, there's 2 guys that get to see a lot of pitches. Not afraid even with 2 strikes either.
And they're hitting right next to each other in the order. Reggie gets that one through the infield, and that's going to get Howie Kendrick across the plate. An RBI base hit for Reggie Willits. The Angels 7, the Red Sox 4. Here comes Francona. Wakefield cruised through the first couple of innings. He had a 4-0 lead, but he gets knocked out in the 5th, trailing 7-4. Count prices on millions of products. And by AM/PM. Too much good stuff. A lot of good stuff for the Angels tonight, coming back from 4-0 down. They have 7 runs and 11 hits already, and they're rocking the Red Sox now. Still just the bottom of the 5th inning.
Hunter Jones, 7 games, got an ERA over 7 at 7.27. Fastball, mid-80s, a touch low 90s. He's got a curveball and a changeup.
Tim Wakefield, and he knows he let one get away tonight. 7 runs and 11 hits.
And his only other loss this year, well, if the Angels hold on, he lost early in the year to the Angels. Hits a decent game there, went 6 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, but he had 5 base on balls that day also.
2 on, 2 out. Bobby Abreu at the plate for the Angels. Hunter Jones, 25 years old, 6'4", 235 from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And he also went to Florida State. One and one to Abreu. Two and one to Bobby. Abreu with a walk tonight. Now has 7 walks in his last 3 games, counting tonight. Fly ball towards the left field line for Jason Bay. And just as he gets to the line, he makes the catch. But the Angels score again, 7-4 after 5.
bag touching that base. It's called safe. That is a Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the art of the stolen base.
And I noticed how you put it. He was called safe. Mighty close, huh?
Many a times I went in there on a couple of pitches I thought were strikes. The umpire called the ball. The guy in the video room said, what was that pitch? He goes, what did the umpire call? He said a ball. He goes, well, that's what it was.
That's what it is then.
There's nothing you can do about it at that point.
Big Poppy at the plate here in the 6th inning. Facing Palmer, who has set down 7 in a row. And almost hits Ortiz.
Cut fastball on the inside part of the plate. A little bit too far in. It's a way to move a batter out of their comfort zone is throwing at that level.
He hits it hard, but the shift works. He hit it right to Howie Kendrick in shallow right.
That triangle definitely worked on that spot. Howie was able to make that play. Good position. Fields it, plenty of time. Ball was hit very well by David Ortiz, but that was defended perfectly by the Angels defense.
1 out, Jason Bay at the plate for Boston. The road trip that is coming up for the Angels, we mentioned they go to Texas for a series beginning Friday, and Texas won again tonight, beating Seattle in 11 innings, 6-5. The Angels began the night a game and a half behind the Rangers.
That's going to be a great series.
Really should. Weekend series there against the Rangers, who are now 19-14.
The Angels will be throwing Joe Saunders, John Lackey, Jared Weaver against the Rangers in that series.
Sounds like the good old days. Those three guys lined up.
Getting healthy. Vlad not that far away either. He's going to be taking some batting practice down there in Texas.
Bay grounds it foul. Full count now, 3-2.
It's like old times the way Vlad hits down in Texas. Jared Weaver outstanding last night. 7 innings, only 1 run. Especially coming back from a complete game the last time out there. That's taxing, especially if you haven't done that before. 98 pitches, pitching to contact, 4 strikeouts.
Rangers would be mighty happy not to see Vlad in the lineup. He's just killed them over the years.
Those numbers are unbelievable. They're almost like they pretend.
Bay goes down on strikes. Boy, has Matt Palmer been sensational since the Angels got the lead. Saturday, the Angels will be on Fox as Tory Hunter and the Angels go against Ian Kinsler and the Rangers in a showdown in the American League West. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week at 1 o'clock Pacific on Fox. Mike Lowell grounds the first pitch foul.
When you take away those first 2 innings, you're talking about some zeros. What a great job Palmer has done recovering from those first 2 innings in which he gave up 4 runs.
And he gets Lowell to fly out to left field. And Matt Palmer has his 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning. That's going to stay fair.
And far.
And there's the call. Home run for Tory Hunter. Tonight's Land Rover extraordinary play. So guess who's leading off the bottom of the sixth?
Our Land Rover guy.
It all ties together, Gooby.
It is truly amazing.
Two and 0 to Tory. Action in the Red Sox bullpen. Daniel Bard.
He's got a pretty good fastball. There might be a little bit of difference between his fastball and Wakefield's. He can get it up there at 100 miles an hour.
100?
Yes.
So Wakefield's fastball at 70 and his at 100 is a little different.
So a little bit of a differential. 30 miles per hour.
Three and 1 to Tory Hunter. And he draws a leadoff walk. Well, the Angels have had base runners all night long. They've stranded 8, which usually is a bad sign through 5 innings. But they've also scored 7 runs. Kendry Morales at the plate for the Angels. Hunter Jones, the lefty, delivers, and Morales pulls it right down the third base line, and he one-hops the wall up into the seats. It's a ground rule double for Kendry Morales.
Well, that's the kind of approach Mickey Hatcher just loves. Pitching the outside part of the plate, going the other way, and hitting with authority. You can show that motion, hitting that ball the other way. He's worked hard with these guys. Turn on it.
Just over that short wall there. Bounces around among the fans, and that's going to be it for Hunter Jones. We'll take a break and be right back to the Big A, where it's 7-4 with the Angels threatening to get more. Jaguar performance of the game. Mike Napoli throws out Jacoby Ellsbury, and later on takes the knuckleball deep to center field. You can check out the new R Performance vehicles at your local Jaguar dealer or on JaguarUSA.com. And once again, Gooby, you'll notice how Napoli just happens to be at the plate here coming out of that.
Well, our guys are on a roll. Matt Lib, Jay Cutlow in the truck, coming up with some great stuff, and lo and behold, the batter's coming up after those performances. And they're facing a guy who's got a great fastball. 93, 97, but can touch 100. He's got a slider and a changeup.
He was their minor league pitcher of the year last year. Young guy, just 23 years old. Born in Houston. Coming into a tough spot, 2 men on, nobody out. Second and third, Tory Hunter at third, Kendry Morales at second. And Napoli at the plate.
And a good fastball hitter against a good fastball pitcher. Good combination for Mike Napoli.
The infield back for the Red Sox. 96.
That's pretty good fuzz. 96 miles an hour. That'd be kind of fun to take that out there to the mound.
Just come in from the bullpen, have that be your first pitch.
Yeah. As you try to get loose.
Wow. He's throwing hard.
And that sounded 96 up here.
0-2 to Napoli. Three straight fastballs sets him down.
And that one was at 98 elevated.
And Napoli, having just seen Bard for the first time, walks away impressed.
It's free and easy, too. That's not a full max throw to throw at 98. A lot of times when a guy throws that hard, they're throwing the entire body into it. Good mechanics for Bard so far. Must seem like a billion after facing Wakefield in that knuckleball.
Right. Juan Rivera takes a strike. Well, Bard pitched 3 seasons for the Tar Heels of North Carolina. And in those 3 seasons, he had 235 strikeouts.
I don't know what sign you're putting down when you're throwing 96, 96, 98, 97. I'm not so sure you're taking off for anything right now.
There was the breaking ball.
Yeah. See what you do when you think out there on the mound as a pitcher.
Thinking too much.
Yeah.
So you don't think Kotaras needed to go out there and say, well, what do you want to go with here?
Well, as a hitter, you're kind of hoping if there was a breaking pitch.
He threw 2 straight. And he's 2-1 now to Rivera. So he comes back with the heater and gets another strike.
And Juan Rivera knows that fastball's coming, and he let it out. A running fastball was supposed to be the outside part of the plate, ran inside. There's some contact made by Juan Rivera. That ball might not ever get back into the stadium.
Juan fouled that fastball back. Two balls, 2 strikes. He hasn't thrown one yet under 96 miles an hour, has he?
Unless he throws a breaking pitch.
Other than the breaking ball.
Yep.
Into right field. Drew goes back and makes the catch. But Juan hit it hard enough to drive in a run on the sacrifice fly. And the Angels go ahead 8-4.
Very impressive at bat for Juan Rivera. And that pitch right there, 96 miles an hour. Fastball up, he shortened up the swing. He had one swing, was 2-1. He let it out. Didn't make contact this time, shortened it up, and when it hit it very well to right field. The guy throws that hard, he's going to generate all the power, so he's able to get the good part of the bat. The sacrifice fly, a big run for the Angels. That fastball, tail in action too. Real good mechanics. It squares up his shoulders very well, pitches out over the front foot. But a good job by Juan Rivera shortening up and putting it in play, getting sac fly.
2 outs, Howie Kendrick at the plate. Breaking ball rolled to shortstop. Lowell cuts in front of Lugo and makes the play. But the Angels get one more, and after 6, they lead it 8-4. To $3 kids and teen nights presented by ESPN Zone. $3 tickets are available for select home games in the upper view seating areas for fans ages 2 to 18. The next $3 kids and teen night takes place Tuesday, May 26th, as the Angels host the White Sox. Tickets can only be purchased at the Angel Stadium ticket window on the day of the game. And the first batter for the Red Sox, J.D. Drew, is already out.
You talk about perfect positioning. Have the shift on against J.D. Drew. Right here, Ibar sitting in that position, ready to make the play. Pitch is made. Matt Palmer thinks that's a hit. And he looks up, routine out. Perfect position. Coaching staff at this Angel Club does a great job as far as getting guys in the spots to make the plays.
Well, when you get a chance like Palmer got because of the injuries, you want to make it tough when the time comes for them to get rid of you. He certainly has done that.
Impressive performance. You're going to look at the box score, 4 earned runs, saying, that's okay. But you give up 4 runs in the first 2 innings and respond by throwing up a bunch of zeros after that, especially after the offense picked you up. That's impressive.
And he's on a roll right now. He's retired 11 straight Red Sox batters.
And he's into the 7th inning once again, giving Mike Scioscia outs.
2-2, you're right. Scioscia always talks about that. Let's try to get 20, 21 outs out of our starter. Well,
that's the key.
And there's the 20th out he's given them. The first 2 innings he gave up 2 runs. But since then, almost unhittable.
Only 1 hit. That's 4 2/3. No walks. More aggressive. Big thing. Mike Butcher ran out to him in that 2nd inning after he gave up his 4th run. And since that point, it's clicked in for him. Using those secondary pitches. Not relying exclusively all the time on that fastball, whether he's cutting it or sinking it.
It could have gotten away. Gave up a 2-run homer in the 1st inning. Then he gave up 2 walks in the second inning, and they both score. Since then, he's just been lights out.
I talked to Mike Butcher today, and I said, hey, you've done a tremendous job with this pitching staff. And he just looked at me, humble as usual, for Mike Butcher, say, hey, they're doing their job. I'm just trying to guide them through it. But what a job his starting pitching staff has done as the rest of them back in this rotation with Irvin Santana and John Lackey coming back. Jarrett Weaver responded. Joe Saunders pitching very well. Shane Luke's doing a good job too, and of course Matt Palmer.
And tomorrow afternoon here against the Red Sox, Irvin Santana gets the start. Facing Brad Penny. That's quite a matchup for the day game here tomorrow at 12:30. Full count. Santana tomorrow, Lackey this weekend in Texas.
Well, what an exciting feeling around here now to get those 2 guys back. And then punching him out, a cutter.
Strike 3 called. Another 1-2-3 inning for Palmer. 7th inning stretch at the Big A. Video.
Wow, that's going to be good. You can keep the fans updated on my progress and learning how to beat the rallying monkey in checkers on Facebook.
Yeah. Gooby checks in at 0-9 versus Monkey.
But it's still practice. Working my way there.
Bottom of the 7th inning. And Eric Ibar to lead off. So you've lost to the kids every single game, huh?
Yeah. I said, I didn't wear that L on my forehead. Bring the loser in.
Yeah. Well, here he comes. Here comes Dad.
Here's a layup.
What a complete dope he is.
I don't know if they quite go that far, but I'm sure you do.
Well, just by themselves. Not in front of you.
When I walk out of the room. Oh, it's good to be loved by you, Rory.
1-1 to Eric Ibar. 1-2.
96 miles an hour.
97 from Daniel Bard. 23 years old. He certainly has an arm, doesn't he?
Not a lot of effort to be able to release the ball like that at that velocity. You guys that throw that hard are full max, body flying towards the first base bag. Pretty good mechanics.
Ibar hit the breaking ball pretty hard right there, but foul.
This Red Sox club, like the Angels, have developed some good young pitchers through their farm system. You got Clay Buchholz, is not even, he threw a no-hitter. He's not even up here with him. Francona got to feel good about that. The arms he can go down to Paul Tuck at AAA, be able to bring up and not miss a beat.
Two balls, two strikes to Ibar. The Angels have scored 8 unanswered runs in this game. Ibar just did stay alive on that one. This will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat. And it's bounced to second base. Green gets Ibar.
Now it's time for our Jack in the Box outside the box. Talk about a tale of two different pitches. Wakefield with the knuckleball, Barr with that 97. You see the baseball already in the glove. The Tars behind the plate as the knuckleball still trying to dance in. At about 65 mile an hour compared to 97 mile an hour. That's our Jack in the Box outside the box. Well, how do you do that as a hitter? That's such a hard adjustment.
Wow.
65, and then all of a sudden you got to gear it up to 97.
Figgins at the plate. Figgy's 0 for 3 tonight. He's reached base once on a walk. Two and 0. Three balls and a strike. You better go up there ready to swing that bat, huh?
Even when 3-1 count and when you're trying to throw a strike, so you aimed a little bit more than normal, still coming in at 96.
Three and 2. Figgins takes it right back up the middle.
But the amazing thing is, major league hitters love the fastball, regardless of how hard it's being thrown. 95 mile an hour, Sean Figgins, a base hit up the middle.
One out, one on. Reggie Willits at the plate. Reggie has a couple of singles already tonight. 1-1 to Willits. Well, it sure gives you some options the nights when Reggie's in there batting right behind Figgins. That's an awful lot of speed at the top.
No question. Plus, you know, a guy like Bard being a taller pitcher, going to be a little bit longer to the plate. But that good fastball gives him a shot, but Reggie can handle the bat very well for hitting runs.
And get out of the way if he has to of a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And that might be one time you don't want to take one for the team.
No. Especially when it's coming right at your shins. Two and two. Reggie pops it up, and the second baseman Green will make the catch. Two down in the bottom of the seventh. Bobby Abreu stepping in now. The Angels with a 4-run lead, not quite enough to stop doing what they do, so you have to keep an eye on Figgins.
Yeah, it's only a 4-run lead. It's not a situation where you're trying to run up a score against a club. A team like the Red Sox, who have that comeback capabilities.
Figgy dives back in there. 1-0 to Bobby Abreu. There goes Figgy. Whoa.
That's about as good as a jump you may ever see.
He was almost standing on second when the catcher caught the ball.
He was timing him. At that point, Bard did not pay attention to him. Going. He figured him out. He's a one-look guy over first base. He finally figured it out, Sean Figgins did, and that is easy as stolen base he may ever get. Good job of reading him. That's not an easy thing to do. You can have speed, but you got to be able to figure out a pitcher.
Three and 0 to Abreu.
What I mean, Rory, a lot of times a pitcher will hold the ball for like 1 second or 2 seconds. And if you do it enough, a good base runner will figure it out. At that point, he's going home after he holds it for 2 seconds, and boom, you saw Sean Figgins going right at that time.
Three and 1. Full count now to Bobby Abreu. And if he keeps the inning alive, Tory Hunter would get another shot here.
Pretty good cut at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yes, it was.
3-2 count. Obviously figured he's getting a fastball in that spot. He started that bat early.
He hits that on the sweet spot. That might be home run number 1 on the year for Bobby. We'll see here. He shook something off. So he could go with the heater, but a little bit too high. Two out, two on. Farrell coming out. Saito's in the bullpen.
Boston with a very deep bullpen. Saito, Papelbon, this Bard kid.
Del Carmen's a good pitcher.
Okajima, very good lefty. They got some arms for Terry Francona. It's good to keep him down there yawning. Think about tomorrow. Get him involved in this game tonight.
Tory Hunter. He has scored 3 runs tonight. Tory homered in the 4th inning. Fair or foul? Fair.
That is way out. He got a fastball. Wakefield don't throw many of them.
Lugo at shortstop flips it to second base for the out. We're going to the 8th inning. The Angels have 8 runs and a 4-run lead.
He struggled. Cut fastball to a curveball to Ellsbury to get that strikeout. Cut fastball on the inside part of the plate. Matt Palmer here working into the 8th inning of outstanding job, and that's our Lexus pursuing perfection.
He's been almost perfect lately. He's retired the last 13 Boston batters. Top of the 8th, top of the order for the Red Sox. Jacoby Ellsbury to lead off. Check it. He's on deck. Nick Green's at the plate. But Palmer's just, after the first 2 innings, pitched brilliantly. And strikes out Green to start the 8th inning. What a game for Matt Palmer.
What a job. What an adjustment he's made during the course of this game. Good breaking pitch once again. Got on top of a curveball. And I'm going to give a lot of credit here to Mike Butcher. You can see on this pitch right here, a 12-6 curveball. Got on top of it. The breakdown in his zone. Getting back to Mike Butcher. He went out there and talked to him about using those secondary pitches. You can almost read his lips saying, hey, don't just fall in love with that fastball. He does have a good one. He can cut it and sink it, but use those secondary pitches. And got him through that tough time. 4 runs in the first 2 innings, but after that, dominant.
Jacoby Ellsbury up there. Down the 3rd baseline. And caught in foul territory by Rivera. Nice play by Juan to backhand that fly ball.
And that's not an easy play, too. He's on the run, and that wall is not forgiving down on the left field line. Great job of Juan Rivera not losing sight of that baseball, makes the catch and right into that wall.
He knows it's coming, and Palmer says that's an out.
Boy, as a pitcher, you love when your defense makes plays like that. It was Juan like making a play like that. That smile, that was a great play. Had to go a long way and ran into the wall, made the catch. As a pitcher, when you're throwing up some zeros and working quickly, they'll make those plays behind you.
Julio Lugo takes strike one. And 2. How about 1 for 19?
That's amazing. And most times it goes the other way around. The first time through, the guys don't have a book on you, especially none of these guys have faced Matt Palmer at the major league level.
And he gets another strikeout and another 1, 2, 3 inning for Matt Palmer, who has gone 8 innings.
Amazing job. Great curveball once again.
What a game for Matt Palmer tonight.
Good job by Mike Napoli also. Guiding him through. Look at those strikeouts. 8 innings pitched. Career high as far as innings pitched in the game. And this is after going the first 2 innings in which he gave up those 4 hits, 4 runs. He's going to 1 hit since.
This is a pitcher that was behind 4-0 after 2 innings. But Butcher said, hang in there. Throw those secondary pitches, and he has just shut down the Red Sox since. Takashi Saito's in the game for Boston. In his 4th year in the big leagues after 14 in Japan.
Very good closer for the Dodgers he was.
Oh, he was. And he has saved a couple of games from Boston this year.
Got a fastball still pretty good, even though coming back from that elbow injury. 89-92's curveball, slider, and a split finger. Real good control.
And by the way, there is nobody warming up in the Angel bullpen. So Matt Palmer is going to get a chance to finish it when we get to the 9th inning. I think that's a great call by Soch.
And that's a great look, too. He has that look and focus still, Matt Palmer does. Saw Jerry Weaver in this homestand get his first complete game. Joe Saunders get his first career shutout.
Morales just did stay alive on that one. 1-2.
What a game Kendry's had so far with 3 hits. And the batting average up to 289 now.
Well, the Angels have 13 hits to go along with the pitching. It could be a much bigger score even. They've left 11 men on base. Scioscia, after the commute home tonight, will get up early and come back to watch Irvin Santana's first start of the year tomorrow afternoon against Brad Penny and the Red Sox.
These Mike Scioscia teams have an ability to bounce back after a tough loss like they did last night, responding, playing well so far tonight.
Popped up by Kendry. And the first baseman Bailey in fair territory makes the catch. Fans, we're talking about tomorrow afternoon. It's a day game tomorrow. Great seats are still available, and the Angels have a ticket special going on. Buy 3, get 1 free in select seating areas using the password Angels. You can do it at the ticket window or angelsbaseball.com, but just don't wake him up. Not right now.
That's comfortable. Nice little nap.
Sure is.
Speaking of nap, here's Mike Napoli. I mean, the fellas are
it
on
all
fire in
ties
that
together.
truck tonight.
Yeah.
They're on fire.
One and 0 to Knapp.
It just flows, Rory.
Mike Napoli, back in the 3rd inning, blasted a 3-run shot out of here. That got the Angels going. This was off of Wakefield.
Oh, what a swing. Dead central. Still had some carry left in it, too, when it hit the wall.
Hits that one right at Jason Bay in left field. 2 outs. Juan Rivera stepping in for the Angels.
Juan had that great defensive play there in the top of the 8th inning. Also a big sacrifice fly. That big run across. Always pile on if you can against this Red Sox team.
Shallow center field and in for a base hit for Rivera. Fans, here's some fun. The inaugural Angel Fan Caravan takes place Saturday, May 23rd, as the Angels visit Dodger Stadium. The caravan includes game tickets and bus transportation from the Big A to Dodger Stadium, as well as interaction with Angel alums, prizes, and gifts. You can make your reservation by calling 888-548-8728.
Man, that should be some fun.
And you also get a gift.
That's like the gift that keeps on giving throughout the year.
Interaction with Angel alums such as yourself.
I haven't been invited, but I would love to do it.
Howie Kendrick up there at the plate. You usually take the bus to the game anyway, don't you?
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little easier commute for me up in LA to go to Dodger Stadium than to drive all the way down there to Orange County to go back up.
Swing and a miss by Howie, 1-2. Well, the Angels have gotten Brian Fuentes up in the bullpen. So whether that means he's coming in and Palmer's finished or they're just getting him ready just in case, we'll find out. But Palmer doesn't look like he's done, does he?
No, it's more a situation where Mike Scioscia, if indeed Matt Palmer has a base runner or two, he will go to his closer.
There's a fly ball into right field by Howie Kendrick. So that's going to end the 8th inning. And we'll get to the 9th inning and see if Matt Palmer can finish it up for the first time in his career, looking for a 9-inning complete game. As he looks for his first career complete game in what is his final start for a while with the Angels. Facing Big Papi to lead off the 9th inning. The heart of the Boston batting order coming up here in the 9th.
Well, you're going to need that adrenaline. You go through this part of that Red Sox lineup.
0-2 to Ortiz. On the ground to second base. Tough hop. Howie stays with it. Bad throw. But Kendry Morales pulls it out of the dirt.
Tell you what, you get more and more impressed by Kendry Morales' footwork and his ability to use that glove at first base. That's a tough throw. Bad bounce too on Howie. He was in good position. That triangle defense worked. Hits the grass, shoots up, wide throw, but nice job not only catching it but keeping the foot on the bag and getting out of the way of Big Papi coming down the line, which is always smart.
With that shift on, the ball hit the cut of the grass on Howie. But Palmer has gotten the first out of the 9th. Jason Bay took him deep all the way back in the first inning. 2-run shot. One and one to Bay. 1-2. I don't think there's any lack of adrenaline for Palmer right now.
No, he feels it. As a pitcher, when you get to that 9th inning, there's no better feeling because you want to be the guy to get the high fives at the end of the game. Best feeling there is for a pitcher. You start the game, complete the game, and high five your catcher and your defensive mates behind you.
And he strikes out Bay with a breaking ball. 2 outs in the 9th. Now the crowd beginning to stand up for Matt Palmer.
A great breaking pitch once again. Tight action on that curveball.
Mike Lowell at the plate. Palmer's thrown 105 pitches. Lowell 0 for 3 tonight. 1-1. "18 consecutive batters set down by Palmer, who has given up 5 hits tonight, all of them in the first 3 innings. Two and one to Lowell. Strike 2 called on the outside corner. One more strike. And the crowd appreciating the effort by Palmer, who's 2-2, is on the inside corner. Strike 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Matt Palmer, and he does get the high fives on the field at the end of the game with his first career complete game. Just another Halo victory.
Wow, that's not just another Halo victory. That's an amazing victory for the Angels and Matt Palmer. What a job. 19 in a row. Backed him up there with a slider. Brian Runge, by the way, behind the plate, very solid job. Punched him out.